Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to problem solving. Welcome to life. The other day I was investigating few peculiarities in me as a person. Peculiarities about me as a person. Now, half the things that we look at outside us, if there are half the things that are to be looked at, then there are half the things that we need to look at beneath us. Had this world not been there, the other world wouldn't exist. I'm repeating that. It's a big philosophy and it has to be interpreted in an appropriate manner. Mathematically right, regressionally right, it has to be interpreted conditionally right, otherwise this will lead to a very wrong interpretation. So without doing much of the philosophic deliberation on this, okay, for a while we'll believe this fact that half of what the world is, half we see outside and half should be inside. So coming back to this, I was looking into peculiarities of myself and I noticed few things. That I tend to believe, unfortunately, I tend to believe that somebody else can solve my problem. I tend to believe somebody else can solve my problem. Now, given the profile, I am a follower of direct knowledge. I'm a researcher. I'm a musician. I'm an extempore speaker. I'm a writer. See the kind of profession I'm in. It all needs originality. I cannot borrow anybody's idea. In fact, I avoid even simulations. I love polarizations. I love polarizations. So this persona who is in this kind of profession for 16 to 18 hours of his day is an entrepreneur also. He's an intellectual entrepreneur also. 16 to 18 hours of day. Still, sometimes I believe that somebody else will solve the problem. This is an unusual leaning against someone who you don't know. You have created that pedestal, you created that strength in the other person by your imagination. And at the same time, you have destroyed your own strength by your imagination. You lost on yourself. You lost on all your assets by imagination. And you tend to lean on others by imagination. Okay, now, if human being had achieved a perfection, life wouldn't seem as romantic as it is now. It won't be such a beautiful journey that it seems now. Had we had a very straitjacketed life, had we had that. We want the milk to arrive at 6 a.m. We want the child to wake up at 6:15. We want him to go to stand at the bus stop 5 minutes before the bus. Okay, we want him to be adequately dressed up for the occasion in the school. We want his bag to be filled up with all the material that he needs in the school. We want him to come back smiling. Wonderful. Why not? We can still think about it or dream about it. We tend to pass our problems on others. We believe somebody else will solve the problem. isn't it a waste of time? Isn't it a waste of your own resources? How much the other person will understand the problem? He will not understand the situation. The word situation is a very mathematical clause. I don't know whether you're aware of this. The word situation is a very mathematical clause. It'll have a huge geometry in it. It'll have huge representation of forces, vectors, scalars, umpteen points of origin, umpteen beginning, simultaneous, and maybe out of phase beginning of synthesis. That's what situation is. It is mathematically impossible to represent. By the time we represent a part of the situation has changed, my dear fellows, ladies and gentlemen, friends, dear ones. By the time you express one situation, the situation has changed. In such a dynamic condition, what does the other person do? Give you a smile, give you a feeling that the problem is not there. Problem is solved. No, just wait, the problems will go away. Yes, half the problems will vanish. Simple as that. Half the problems will vanish. Mistake of the terms sometimes creates another problem. Half our problems will vanish, I promise. Half the problems will vanish. And those who are a little more forgetful than me is, the problems would vanish majorly. You don't want to remember the problems. So the problem will oblige you. Say, okay, fine, I want to be forgotten. Problems will oblige. I will be forgotten. Problems will oblige. They will listen to you. They'll obey you. I will be forgotten. But then it might revenge. Said I went to him where he didn't bother. He didn't take care of me. Now let me see what I do to this fellow. Some other time. Not Monday, maybe Saturday. He may. We are yet to know the character of the problem. We will, of course, as we progress in these discourses, we will research into what is the character of the problem. I'm sure, like all of us, are different. We carry different weight on our body, different skeletal, different mental activity, different emotional activity. I'm sure problems will also have its own genre. It'll be mighty interesting to go to that point of research. I call this an online research. I'm talking to you and we are trying to create this thing. In extempore speaking, many times we try and relate our experiences. In extempore speaking, many times we try and relate ourselves more closely to the present. But there is another genre and reason for extempore speaking. That is, we are trying to walk into the future together, fearlessly. Because we got a torchlight. There's no darkness. The torchlight is here, the torchlight is here, the torchlight is here. So are we going to use our heart? Oblique faith. Are we going to use our eyesight clearly enough, good enough? Are we going to use our vision? We will be able to see that. Okay. So thanks for this opportunity. I ever wanted to express myself in what extempore speaking can be, or could be, must be, should be. So why do we think somebody else will solve the problem? It is because we have not explored ourselves fully. We haven't explored ourselves fully. It's like you, maybe, as a man, it may not be a best example. A young lady goes to the friend of hers and say, I want to see your wardrobe. I bought 1, 2, 3, 4 event in my school, college, whatever. Okay, or in the office, and I want to. And then you borrow a dress from her, and you come back, you put it on, and you say, oh, it doesn't fit all that well. So what is important? Something that fits on you, or something that looks good color-wise on you. What is more important? Then you try the one you already have in your wardrobe, and lo and behold, that's how you select. In the field of management, decision making, handling people, handling problems at a professional level, they always use comparative. They always use comparative. Now here, the comparative has worked by its own choice. The lady had not designed comparative as a means of arriving at a conclusion. And very surprising, we spend so much time thinking about the uniform, the dress. But at the end of this whole episode, at the end of this event for which you were so worried, did you ever analyze how it went? Did you ever analyze? Our analysis is marginal. Compared to the amount of time that goes in decision making, the amount is the post-analysis is marginal. Surprising. Shouldn't it be, if you're so conscious and cautious about dressing, shouldn't it be that you incorporate that knowledge and the feedback for the next event, which is bound to happen sooner than later, because you have a tendency to display your wardrobe? Why not? You love it. Go ahead. You want to explore your wardrobe. You want to display your wardrobe. Why not? Go ahead. So the next event is going to come sooner than later. Why do we lean on others? Because we see a happy and smiling face and feel he or she is very comfortable, she or he is very steady. Oh, probably she can or he can appreciate and accept the problem much more positively. The fact that he seemingly is not in the problem will probably encourage you to put your problem onto him. Okay, and quite hopefully, actually hopelessly. If you feel hopeful about this, I think you're underestimating problem. The problem has a design only for you. The problem is designed only for you. A leg spinner decides the ball, considering who the batsman is. He doesn't decide based on which country he's playing against or which group he's playing against. He doesn't do that. It is based on his study and his understanding about you. The problem is specific to you. The disease comes specific to one body. The accident happens specific to one lifestyle. One anatomical constitution. Interviews, the problem come to you for you personally. So the other person is not in a position, not in the time frame of the problem, and you're wasting your time. If at all, you're so urgent about problem solving, and you feel elevated, you feel lonely, you feel out of ability, there could be other means. More of that will come back to you in the next session. So may we see you again in the next episode of Problem Solving. Come to problem solving. Come to life.